నమస్తే ప్రత్యేక కార్యక్రమానికి స్వాగతం. వనితా టీవీ ప్రేక్షకులందరికీ మహిళా దినోత్సవ శుభాకాంక్షలు. ప్రజాసేవే తన జీవిత లక్ష్యంగా మార్చుకున్న మహారాణి. ప్రపంచంలోనే అతిపెద్ద ఇంద్రభవనం తన సొంతం, కానీ సర్వసాధారణం తన జీవన విధానం. మహిళలకు మహాలక్ష్మిగా, పేదలకు పెద్ద దిక్కుగా ఉండే సద్గుణం ఆమెది. ఆమెని రాధికా రాజే గైక్వాడ్, క్వీన్ ఆఫ్ బరోడా. మహిళల దినోత్సవం సందర్భంగా ఆమెతో ఈ ప్రత్యేక కార్యక్రమం. Maharani ji, firstly, we would love to wish you Happy Women's Day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, in reality, you're a descendant of a royal family. You're from a kingdom. But when it comes to simplicity, you're the epitome of simplicity. I can say that. Can you please share about that?
I think there is this misnomer or belief that royal families are have a lot of protocol and ego, and it's they don't lead normal lives, but it's quite the contrary. I think royal families, especially in India, have always been connected to the people. That is why they have been loved for so many centuries. Even when we became a democracy, the royal families very peacefully gave up their kingdoms to form one united India. And but they have continued to be relevant because of politics or hospitality, and people continue to give them respect and love, and that itself is an indication that there is a connection that they've had with the people. So at some level, I suppose everyone has been humble and simple to be connected with the people, and they have been the states have been for the people, and progress, benefiting society. And I think that's why people continue to give love and support to royal families. But I personally, my nature is friendly, so I think that is.
We can see it, ma'am. And you have ascribed knowledge about the people connecting women in the society. Ma'am, can you please share about your childhood Wankaneer experiences with us?
I had a lovely childhood. We are two sisters. My sister is 10 years older than me. And my childhood was between Wankaneer, which is another princely home, and in Gujarat itself. And we have a very beautiful palace there itself. And my grandparents were there, and we would have all our holidays there. And my father was working in Delhi and then in Bhopal as an IAS officer. So we had that life, working life as well. So I had a very beautiful balance of, that middle class working life, and with very intelligent people. My father was being an IAS officer, his colleagues, all of we were meeting with very intelligent people. Our conversations were very intellectual and fun, and there was a lot of exposure that I received. At the same time, when I would go back, I received a lot of love from my grandparents. They would, pamper me, and at the same time, it was very traditional and, very steeped in history, and, so the whole sense of values came very strongly from that. So two very, very different upbringings, but beautifully balanced to give me a very, very well, balanced life to understand, what the world is today. And
so
at
you
the same
have
time,
seen multiple aspects in the world, I can guess. Since your father is from a kingdom family, but still he opted for the IAS job, which is like a U-turn in his life, which made him feel more comfortable, in fact. Can you please share about that?
Yes, he was very clear that he wanted to work, and my grandfather and his grandfather had also encouraged him that, soon the kingdoms will not be there, and everyone has to stand on their own feet. and make a living and contribute to the country, development of the country. And that's why he thought of joining the IAS, because he was very clear that you can't live in, you know, in the olden days. You have to look forward and move with the time.
So in every individual life, some or the other day, they should take nice decisions. At least they should get influenced from the forefathers or grandparents. So in the same way, you have a beautiful family life. We have seen few picture collection of your two beautiful daughters. Before that, I want to ask you about your favorite cricketer. My question can strike you something in the brain. I want to ask about Maharaja Samarjit Singh Ji. Can you please share about him?
Well, actually, my husband would be my favorite cricketer, because my husband is he's a very, very good husband and father. He's shy. He's more shy than me, so one doesn't see him so much in public. People see me more, but he's extremely hardworking and committed to his family and to this home. You know, he's very, very devoted to the house and the family. And today, this home is beautiful and comfortable because he puts in so much effort to do that, and he's really a caretaker and provider for the family. And he loves sports. He's very passionate about sports, and he's played cricket, very, very good cricket, first class cricket. He plays golf. He can play any sport. He's just good, gifted. My daughters luckily have that talent from him. So he's doing real estate. He's running a golf course, a full-fledged club with lots of sporting facilities. He's running banquets, and so he's very busy. But we love to travel together. He's a very good travel mate for me. We enjoy each other's company, and we.
So, which is your favorite place with your husband among the list of your tourist spots?
So many. We try and go to different places. So we see more countries and more cities. But we've enjoyed ourselves in India and abroad. So it's we like doing driving trips. We've done a lot of driving trips, and we both enjoy that very much. We've driven around France a lot, and we've enjoyed that. Italy, we've driven. So a lot of trips, and we both enjoy that. You know, driving around.
For your beautiful couple, there are two more add-on, two princes. Two little princes. Can I call them little princes? Still one girl is in schooling, I guess.
Yes.
So can you share about your daughters?
Yes, I wish they were still little. They're growing up. But yeah, my older one is Padmaja. She's 18 years old now. She's in the 12th standard. And my younger one is 16. She's in the 10th standard. And she's taking her board exams just now. So they are a lovely mix of both their parents. My daughters are very warm and friendly and confident, and they are very good in sports like their father. And now they are wearing saris. They are enjoying their traditional clothes. They are very active in social work as well. My elder one has done, Padmaja has done a project called Heart to Feet, where she has collected and donated over 7,000 footwear to needy and poor.
Great,
so they are following the traditions of the family and keeping those.
They are carrying the legacy of mom. We can say that. Like mom, like daughters, and like father, like princess. We can mention that. So they are just carrying forward your family legacy and your culture, tradition, everything. When it comes to women, we are always attracted to saris and footwear collection. Can you please share about your saris collection?
So I do love saris. I was not wearing them as much when I got married. I was 23 when I got married, so I wasn't wearing that. I was working. I was a journalist, so to work I was not wearing. But of course, for functions and weddings and all, I would wear. But after my marriage, my mother gave me a lot of saris, and from different parts of the country. And then I thought that once I'm married, I should wear saris more. So I started wearing, and my mother-in-law also has a lovely collection of saris. Interest in saris became more and more, and I started collecting from different states. And yeah, I managed to have, you know, a good collection. And also because I have two daughters who also are now wearing saris, it makes me more, you know, confident to buy that they will be worn. It's not, they're not going to just lie in the cupboard. And I wear a lot of, all my saris I wear regularly. I get luckily enough occasion to wear them. And I feel that you know, handloom is so precious in our country because we have so much craft, and it is slowly dying, and we need to support it. We need to support the craftspeople who make those crafts, and we need them to have an opportunity to live a life of dignity. And I want to show my gratitude to these people because they are the people who are keeping our culture alive.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, what we wear, what we eat, what we decorate our homes with, all of that is, if it's craft, if it's handmade, these are all traditional products that are being made for thousands of years. And these families are keeping those alive. So I'm very grateful to them.
And we came to know our Queen of Baroda definitely want to carry forward the pride of Gujarat, where our textile industry is growing forward since ages. Can you please share about the textile industry in Gujarat? How come you are supporting all the women here under small scale industries?
So Gujarat has a very rich history of craft and textiles, and of course you have the traditional textiles like ikat, patola, Rajkot patola, like what I'm wearing. You have the Patan patola.
This is a Rajput's patola.
Rajkot patola. Yeah,
Rajkot
it is a type of dyeing and then weaving.
This is exclusively from Gujarat?
This is from Gujarat, yes.
Wow.
And so we have all these beautiful techniques, and we have, of course, a lot of embroidery as well, especially in Kutch with mirror work, and I want to support it and keep it alive in whatever way possible. I like wearing handloom and you know, textiles made by craftspeople, and that is my way of supporting. I also have a 2-day festival for the artisans every year during Rakhi. It's called Urja. It's in our Maharani Chimnabai Sri Udyogalaya, and we invite artisans to bring the products they are making. So from khadi to saris to mugs to whatever the craftspeople are making, I invite them, and we have this exhibition and give them a platform to sell and interact with the buyers, so that they also can get direct orders if they want, and they can also learn what, you know, get a feedback about a product, that if they want, if they can improve it, make it better. So these are all the ways that we try and support artisans.
Can you please share about the jewelry collection?
Yes, pearls were very popular with the Gaikwads of Baroda. The women wore a lot of pearls, while other royal families were wearing very beautiful jewelry as well. Baroda had very beautiful jewelry, but you would see women wearing pearls, and it kind of showed a sophistication and a simplicity. And yes, the family has had a special love for Basra pearls. And in terms of special jewelry, there was the pearl carpet, which was made by Khanderao, a suite of folk pearl carpets, which was very, very beautifully made. And of course, the pearl strings are very, very famous also of Baroda.
So you like all famous things from Baroda?
I love all things from Baroda.
Everything. And we love someone from Baroda. She is Radhika Rajeji.
Thank you.
I want to call you with one name. Can I call you with that name?
Yes.
Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Radhu ma'am. Who calls you like that?
My mother calls me Radhu. Yes.
How come your daughters call you?
They call me Mamma.
Mamma. Always Mamma.
Yeah.
In both the daughters, who is always behind you?
Different times, different ones. The elder one is now away, but she likes to take me with her whenever she's going. But the younger one likes to come and stick sometimes. She will not admit she's coming to sit with me and stick, but she'll just come and be, you know, look busy, but she wants to just come and sit next to me and know that I'm there. So in both daughters, they make me feel very loved and special, and they are very different, but as a mother, I know that they both are conveying their love to me.
So younger one want to get more pampering from mama.
Both children.
Everywhere in the world. That sounds really cool, ma'am. So you're the epitome of women empowerment. When you support so many women throughout the country, and you will be the inspiration for entire world, I can say. So how come it is going forward, women empowerment?
I think as a woman growing up in India, working in a place like Delhi, having two daughters of my own, I think it was I felt a deep connection to the cause of women not being able to feel safe, being able to feel free, being able to feel independent. And when I say independent, I don't mean just physically, I mean financially, mentally, to be able to take their own decisions, to have control even if they have their own money or earn their own money, to have the freedom to decide where to invest it, how to spend it. So I think these were all topics around me that I was seeing with my friends, maid servants, extended family, and you are as anyway as a woman you're sensitive to how people treat women, or how the status of women in most people's homes, and so it came from a very space of wanting to do something. And with God's grace, I've grown up and I'm married in a home where I have received so much love and support. As a woman, I felt that every girl and woman deserves that. And today, if I'm able to do anything, that I'm sitting today in front of for an interview with you, it is because of the support of my family that has encouraged me to, do the work I believe in. And I feel every woman, every girl, every child should have that opportunity and love.
So how is the support from your father and your husband entirely?
Great support. I think they've always believed in me, and they've trusted me in my judgment, in my choices, and it gives you confidence. When the men in your house, and somehow I think as women we have a lot of love and support from the women, but we also look for it from the men. I think for all daughters, a father is a hero, and also from your husband. You want that encouragement, that support. You want that little bit of a go. Yeah, go ahead. It's okay. Yes. We are with you. You want that, and I'm very grateful for that. My mother-in-law has been a huge support. My mother is a big cheerleader for me. My sister-in-law. So it is I think every woman needs a group of women to support her. But somewhere we also look for what would our father think? Will he appreciate what I'm doing? I think it's every girl has that feeling towards their father and even their husband, whether we admit it or not. We want a little bit of acknowledgement from our husbands as well. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds really great, ma'am. Raji ma'am, can you please share about your collections, few more collections in your life?
We have a very important collection of Raja Ravi Verma paintings, and the largest collection of his paintings are with us. And this room itself has some of his most important works. These, of course, are the Lakshmi and Saraswati, painted by Raja Ravi Verma. And we are seated in the Gadi Hall. This is the most sacred room in the palace. This is the throne room where the Maharaja would sit, and that is the Gadi there. And the Maharaja sits on it only the day of his coronation. On other days, the pujas happen in this room.
We are the luckiest persons to be part of this.
So the Dasera, Diwali, all the pujas happen in this room, and with the blessings of the Devis and the gods who are in this.
So which is your favorite painting among all the paints?
I think I would say that I do have a special corner for Saraswati. I love the peacock. I love the the sari, the background. I love that she has 4 hands, but they look so they don't look unusual at all. They're made so beautifully, and I think it really depicts a woman, because at any point of time she's always going to need 4 hands.
So this is a hidden talent from Radhika ji. Is there anything like artistry related?
I love art. I enjoy watching art, but I don't paint.
Can we explore around our palace, your favorite comfortable home?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think both the children's life has started here only, from this palace.
Yes, this was a Darbar hall, and my elder daughter's naming ceremony also took place here. The Barsa.
So many memories and occasions happened
Yeah,
here.
also our wedding reception was here. So
Wedding reception.
Yeah.
It's a lot of memories, ma'am.
lot of memories. Yeah.
Ma'am, can you please share about the interiors, sculpture of the palace?
So this is the largest room in the palace. It has lovely Italian mosaic with lapis lazuli, turquoise, mother of pearl, and we have lovely gold gilded mosaic on the wall, which is, you can see the shine. We have lovely glass etching and stained glass, beautiful jharokas made of rosewood and sandalwood. And the ceiling is entirely lacquer and in the Persian style, and the chandeliers are all from England. So this is a very grand hall. This is where the Maharaja would meet all the people, all the important banquets, important meetings were held in this room.
Darbar.
And we have very beautiful painting of Bharatnatyam dance performance happening in this hall as well. And one of the Maharaja Sayajiraw's first wife, Chimnabai the first, she was from Tanjavur, and with her she brought two Bharatnatyam dancers.
Okay.
And they started the spread of Bharatnatyam in northern India. And so we used to have performances of Bharatnatyam in this.
So somehow you got connected with the extreme south of India.
Yes.
So which is your favorite dance format?
I love all dance. I've learned for a short while. I learned Bharatnatyam as a girl as well, and from Swapna Sundari's disciple.
Okay.
And then over the years, I have participated in different dance festivals in schools. I learned from Birju Maharaj's disciples. I did a dance for one of my school programs as well. And then, of course, after marriage, it's been Garba.
So interior is in different style and exterior is something like European style, right?
No, your outside is, I told you, Hindu-Muslim, Indo-Islamic style.
Indo-Islamic style.
Indo-Saracenic is
And
called.
interior?
Interior is Italian here.
Italian.
The mosaic is Italian. This is, of course, Indian style with rosewood, and this is Persian. And the chandeliers are from England. So it's a mix of many different.
This is
Style.
carried forward since how many ages?
The palace was completed in 1890.
Mm-hmm.
So about 135 years.
135 years age.
Yeah.
So since that time, maintenance, everything is carried forward.
Yes.
So which is your favorite place in entire palace?
I like the Darbar Hall very much,
Darbar
and the
Hall.
Gadi Hall that we sat in before. These are my two favorite areas.
So this place is like very spacious, like your heart.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Can you share about our kingdom and dynasty, like Gaikwad dynasty?
So we came from Maharashtra. The Gaikwads came from Maharashtra, and then they came via Songar at the border of Gujarat and Maharashtra, and then they came and slowly made their inroads into Gujarat. And we had two very brave Gaikwads who started the line. There were Damaji Rao and Pilaji Rao, and we are all descendants from that. And then in later time there was Khanderao Maharaj, who was very fond of jewelry, and he bought a lot of important jewelry. And his wife Jamnabai Maharani delivered a daughter after his death. So she was pregnant when he passed away suddenly, and then when when she delivered, she had a baby girl, and therefore she then adopted Gopal Rao from the same village, Kavlana, where the Gaikwads came from, and he became Sayajirao Maharaj. So he was adopted at the age of 13, and then he was the person who made this palace and is known as the architect of Baroda. He was very progressive, and Baroda became very prosperous and powerful and cultural under his time.
And can you please share about pre-independence things, whatever happened before the dynasty formed?
Uh,
You might have heard from your forefathers.
Yes. So most of it I already told you that we came from Maharashtra,
Yes.
and we came to Gujarat, and Maharaja Sayajirao was a very visionary ruler, and under his time we had Baba Sahib Ambedkar received scholarship and education uh, from Maharaja Sayajirao. Aurobindo, Sri Aurobindo was his personal secretary. He was here, and musicians, Ustad Fayaz Khan, Maula Baksh. There was one of the first kind music college, performing arts was set up here. Arts college was set up, and so a lot of patronage was received by musicians, dancers, singers, artists, silversmiths, and so Baroda really gave a lot of support and encouragement um, to the different art forms of the country, not just in Baroda but outside as well.
Wow, that sounds really great, ma'am. When we entered into Baroda from straightway from Hyderabad, so many people are telling our Radhika ma'am is not only queen of Baroda, she's queen of festivals, they said. You're supporting Ganesha Utsav, you're supporting Garbha festival. So they're sharing about you. They're so
Yes.
much overwhelmed to express with us.
So the Ganpati festival happens in this room only. It's been there for centuries. It was started by our forefathers, and it's very beautiful, and it happens in this hall itself.
Maharani, around the hall we can see busts over there. Can you please explain about?
Yeah, so these busts are of the divans who were there at the time of the state. So you have the Maharaja, and then you have who was his prime minister or divan at his time. So the divans have been given important positions, and the busts are of the prime ministers or divans because they were helping in running the administration of the
Like the
state.
procession, everything will be
No, the administration of the state.
of the state.
In those days, the government was the royal
Kings.
family, the
Yes,
kingdom. So they were running they were like prime ministers, like you have prime minister of the country. The Diwan was the prime minister of the state of Baroda, which was not just a city, which was a very large area. So Baroda state went up to Dwarka and Somnath. It was the second largest state in India. So Hyderabad was the largest state, and the second largest state was Baroda.
Maharani ji, the world's famous Garba culture started in Gujarat. And since we know it, we have a 700-acre spacious, lavish ground for Garba. You're conducting every year for praying the Lord. So can you share about Garba experience with us?
So I host the Navratri Garba, which is for 9 days during the Navratri festival. And it's usually in September, October every year. And we have it in the estate. And it is for a mama for 9 days of invoking the Devi. And it's a divine feminine festival. It is to celebrate the goddess in each one of us. And because we are talking for Women's Day, it's very special to talk about Garba, because Garbha itself, means womb.
Yes.
So it is about the woman, it is about fertility, it is about life. And when you dance in a circle, it is basically you are celebrating the circle of life. And the Jagat Janani
Which
is a goddess.
resembles mother's womb also.
Yes.
Since you said, ma'am, I can see blush on your face when we are talking about Garbha. I know it's your favorite hobby. Since how many years you are performing Garbha?
Actually, as a child, I used to do it sometimes when I was in my village in Wakaner. But I started doing it more actively and once I got married. So 23 years ago, when I came to Baroda, I just watched and I learned and I just absolutely love the Garba. I never miss it.
Maharani ji, can you please share us about the world's largest private palace, Lakshmi Vilas?
So Lakshmi Vilas Palace is one of the largest private residences in the world. There are palaces, and you have a beautiful palace in Mysore, which is probably bigger than this. But this is entirely a private residence. So Jodhpur Palace is also probably bigger, Umaid Bhavan, but it's a hotel. So this is a one property which is entirely occupied only by the royal family so far, and we are very proud of it, of our home. It's very beautiful, and I've had a lovely life here, and my daughters have really had a wonderful childhood here, and they have had not just the beauty of the palace but the greenery outside. I think we are very blessed to be living here.
There are so many beautiful monuments in the world, but Lakshmi Vilas is something which is grateful to us. Can you please share about the construction, Maharani ji?
Yeah, so the construction took almost 12 years to make. It was started in 1879 and completed in 1890. And we had two architects. We had Sir Charles Mant, who started the construction, and then he passed away, and it was completed then by Robert Chisholm.
A part of social works, you're helping so many women in driving classes, Nari Ki Savari. उनका बारे में बता दीजिए.
So Nari Ki Savari was a project that I started because I myself, when I wanted to drive, I struggled, and my father was also very reluctant that to have a daughter driving. This is 28 years ago, and because I come from also a conservative background, I was the first girl in my house to start driving and going out and working. So he was very supportive of my working, but he was always scared about me driving, from safety's point of view as a woman, and Delhi being so unsafe. So I faced resistance to be able to have the independence of driving. Of course, it was for safety concerns, but I felt I was not being as an equal freedom was not being available. Therefore, I was always felt that how I can help women to, also be able to learn to drive, get the confidence, to get a license, to be able to have the freedom. And that was one of the main reasons for starting Nari Ki Savari. Also, I wanted to align women with school vans and school transport to reduce instances of sexual abuse that happens in schools, with small children when they go, commuting from school to home. Yes, and one reads about it in the newspaper so often. I would never send my daughters alone, I would always have a maid or someone going because you don't send alone. So that's why I was very keen that women are also trained for this. And
so you want to see every woman as a single individual, like highly independent women, right?
Yes, yes. Independent, but also responsible for their families, themselves, and for society. And I want. I'm not looking at creating women who only think of themselves and are selfish enough to, because that's not. Society will not function like that. So every man and woman have to have that understanding and support each other. And women play very, very important roles. So if they learn how to drive, they can really, really help themselves, of course, but also be able to do so much for their children. I know so many women who would not be able to take their children would not be able to do hobby classes or go because they didn't have a vehicle, or even if they had the vehicle would be there, but the mother would not be able to drive and take them. So I feel that mobility is also a sense of freedom and independence. And
so every mother will play a vital role for their children in their lives.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So I heard there is a special interest for you on vintage cars. Can you please share about that?
Yes, I do like vintage cars very much. My grandfather, Maharaja Sahib, Pratap Singh of Wakaner, my Dadaji, he was a very, very avid car collector, and he had all sorts of it. In Wakaner, where I come from, we still have a Rolls Royce. He had Alfa Romeos, Mercury, Ford, all the cars, and he would talk about cars. He would have magazines, and would be coming every month, and everything, all his showpieces, everything was about cars. So I grew up seeing a lot of that in my childhood.
So that made you put up your enthusiasm on cars, I guess.
Yes.
Since we are wandering around, I can examine something around 500 acres or something.
Yes.
So do you go for a walk in the evening?
Yes, I do with my daughters. My younger one is with us. She's in her 10th standard. She's 16 years old, and she takes her dogs every day for a walk in the evening. Her name is Narayani. And then sometimes, if she allows me, then I will come with her. Otherwise, my older daughter Padmaja, she's 18. She's now in a boarding school in UK. And when she comes, she takes the dogs for a walk every evening. And then she takes me, drags me. And I love it. So we and the dogs. So the dogs basically take us for a walk. If we don't take the dogs for a walk, the dogs take us for a walk.
Yeah. So which is your favorite pet among all your pets? Which makes you feel very, very sober? Which is your favorite pet?
I enjoy my dogs. We have 2 dogs, a beagle and a French bulldog.
Okay.
The names are Goofy and Toffee. And I really enjoy them. Not as much as my daughters. My daughters are absolutely dog crazy. But I love my pets. And I used to have, before that, we used to have cats.
Achha.
So before I got married, we had Persian cats, Siamese cats, and I used to love cats. And they would sleep in my bed
Persian
with me.
cat seems to be like a Pomeranian dog,
Yeah.
right? The comfort zone.
Yeah, very, very. And we had birds when I was growing up. I used to play with leopard cubs, tiger cubs, because my father's in wildlife. So, he had created a lovely space for rescue animals called One Vihar in Bhopal. And then I would go and play with those cubs.
In which age you started playing with cubs?
I think I was about 2, 3. I used to play with them. And then, of course, I'd play with chicks and bunny rabbits. And so animals were always a part of my growing up.
That sounds really great. When you said this Toffee ka naam hai na, aapka pet ka naam. When I heard that, I felt really it's like a sweet gesture towards pets. Since you said about the wildlife of animals in your life, like when you were 2, you started playing with cubs. I heard there is some crocodile with you.
We do have crocodiles. So in the estate itself, in the ground, there were crocodiles which were there. And my uncle-in-law, late Maharaja Fateh Singh Rao, he was very fond of animals, and at his time there were lots of animals who were in the estate. There were lions, there were warthogs, there were giraffes, and crocodiles. So those crocodiles were there even when I got married. And now they are not there anymore, but they used to be here. And every monsoon we have a lot of rain, then the river floods and a lot of crocodiles come up. You'll see them right up to our garden.
Okay. It's not so easy, ma'am. I felt like little scared.
Yeah.
At the age of 2, you started playing with wild animals, and you made everything into your life, like animals and every individual into your life. So what made you learn about animals in your life?
My father is a wildlife conservationist. And with him I traveled around a lot in the jungles in India, and then when I grew up, even abroad. But all our holidays used to be in national parks, and we would spend a lot of time in the forests, and also with animals who were, who had lost their mothers, or so rescues, because that happens in the forest. Sometimes they're sick and they die. And I remember a lovely elephant calf, and his mother had died of rabies because there was a dog, a rabbit dog, who had come, and he was attacking the baby, and she tried to save the baby, and he bit her, and she got rabies because the dog was rabid, and then she died. So it was it's like a sacrifice of a mother. And I remember, as a 5-6 year old, I remember that really, feeling very sad about that.
I'm really sorry to know this, ma'am. Maharani ji, so when we wander around the palace, Lakshmi Vilas, it's so lavish and greenery. Do you support gardening?
Yes. Actually, more than me, I must admit, my husband does, because he's very outdoor. He plays golf, and he's very particular about how the grass should be, how green it should be, and he has very well trained staff to maintain, because it's a very large estate. But yes, I do like to look at the flowers and personally discuss what will we plant in the coming season.
Then what is your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is tennis.
Tennis. I thought you will mention cricket, since sir.
Yeah, my husband used to play cricket. Baroda has a rich history of cricket. But I always enjoyed watching and playing tennis. Not that I play very much or was very good
Watching
at it.
cricket and playing tennis is your favorite job, right?
Well, tennis. More than cricket, I don't understand cricket too much, but I understand tennis more. But I do enjoy cricket now. Being married so many years, I enjoy cricket as well.
So tennis is also like your fitness secret?
I used to play tennis more earlier, but no, I've not played it in the recent past. But my daughters play, so I enjoy watching them play now.
Ma'am, there are philanthropists around the world who inspires in your life. In the same way, you met Shri Ratan Tata ji and also Dalai Lama sir. How they inspired you in the life?
It was very, very inspiring to meet both of them. Dalai Lama, His Holiness, I have met twice. I've seen him more than that, but I've met him twice. And Ratan Tata ji, I met only once, but we had a lovely getting to know each other. And he was very, very humble and simple, and very good sense of humor, and great clarity of mind. And you could tell the softness of his heart when he spoke about animals. My husband and he spoke about dogs, and he wrote a lovely letter to my husband thereafter, inviting him to come and visit him in Bombay. And yes, he was a wonderful person from what little I interacted with him. And His Holiness, of course, is one of those. For me, he is an embodiment of all goodness and spirituality, and the closest that I can see or fathom divinity. And it's always been very transformative to be in his presence. And again, there is great softness and humility in him, and a good sense of humor as well.
So almost like a family friend, we can call him, right?
Well, I don't know him so well, but for me, he's like a god figure more
And
than
he
a
made
friend.
you very comfortable whenever you meet him.
Yes, I mean, he makes all his devotees and disciples feel special. He is like a god figure for all of us. So
After having a look into the Darbar Hall, we have gone through some hall. What is the name of this hall, ma'am?
this is the Hathi Hall,
Hathi
and
Hall.
you will see there are elephants around in the hall. And from here, we believe that the Maharaja used to mount his elephant.
Okay. He enters into the Darbar Hall.
Yes, so from this door, you would come on his elephant, and then
still now you have spent a lot of time with us, even though in your busy schedule, and you will look after so many financial things in the kingdom. And can you give a message to all the viewers of our channel, especially women, on the occasion of Women's Day?
I wish all the women a very, very happy Women's Day, and I just request all families to not only celebrate the women on one day of a year, but throughout the year, and that the community, the women and the men and children continue support women to fulfill their dreams and their true potential and passion.
You will be the role model to all the women who are watching this. And
you,
their
thank you.
husbands and their fathers could watch this. It will make them influence in a positive way to support all the women.
I hope so.
Thank you so much.
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you so much.
చూసాంగా, ఇది ఈనాటి ప్రత్యేక కార్యక్రమం ప్రైడ్ ఆఫ్ బరోడా క్వీన్ రాధికా రాజే గైక్వాడ్. మరోసారి మహిళా దినోత్సవ సందర్భంగా మహిళలందరికీ హ్యాపీ విమెన్స్ డే.